What's all this for? It's got me turned around, but I can't ignore the feelings that I found in this whole damn thing that we got going. You hold the strings without me knowing. Why do I have to suffer through the thinking? Why do I have the feeling that we're sinking? I need to find a way, find a way, find a way, find a way out. Find a way out. Find a way out.
All right. Well, good morning to you. How's everybody doing this morning? Mmm. Whew. Man, it's too bright out there. I'm not going bird watching this morning. I'm going to cut that out in the mornings. I'm going to do it in the afternoons on certain days. So probably later on this afternoon, maybe. I don't know if I'm going to do it on Sundays or not. Probably not. I'm probably going to do it like during the week. Maybe Monday or Tuesday mornings, or maybe Monday and Tuesday mornings. And then maybe, I don't know, like Thursday mornings or something. I don't know. I'll fit it in. But in the afternoon, it seems like there's a lot more birds flying, and you don't have that sun staring you in the face coming out of the east there. So, um, and I'm facing the east if I go out back, whether I'm underneath the patio or not. So, if I do it in the afternoon and I do it from my patio, I have a broad view of everything around, right? And it's a much better view. And it seems like there's a lot more birds flying later on in the day than there are in the morning now. So I'm definitely going to do it later on in the afternoons. I'll give you an example. Uh, yesterday, yesterday alone, I saw 7 different breeds of eagle, some of which I did not even know existed. So I thought that was awesome. There is a Mexican eagle, and that is the name of the eagle. It's called the Mexican eagle. I've seen that one, and that was weird. When you see that one, it's kind of like he's way different color. And then there's an Asian eagle, and that's what I think we call that one here. It's the Asian eagle. I'm positive that's not its given name, but that is what it's called here. It's the Asian eagle. It's a very large eagle, and it's every bit, well, it's almost as big. It's about as equal to the golden eagle. I saw a golden eagle too, so that was pretty cool. I saw the common land eagle that is indigenous. Well, not indigenous, but we have a lot of them. It's quite common here in Texas. That's the largest eagle that I've seen here in Texas, like ever. We also have the bald eagle, which I did not see. Um, but I didn't know that the bald eagle is so prevalent around here as it apparently is. And then there is a small wooded eagle that is really beautiful. It is so beautiful. It's white, different shades of gray. Uh, it's just a gorgeous creature to behold, and it's very small. Believe it or not, it's about the size of a crow or a jay or a robin. It may be a little tiny bit bigger. It might not. It's about the same size, I would say, as a crow. But this thing will hunt any of those birds, and it's very good at flying through the trees, like through the thicket and all of that. Um, there are a few birds that can outfly it, in between the branches and the trees and the limbs and the thicket and all of that. But there's only a few. This bird will catch those birds, if not 1 out of 3 times, 1 out of 5 times. Not 1 out of 5, 1 out of 7. But he will absolutely catch these birds eventually, and will kill them. He is faster than little birds, so that says a lot in and of itself. It's different than like warplanes fighting. The F-16 was the plane that outdid the F-22 and the F-35 when they were testing these planes when they first came out with them. And these planes, in the war games, if you want to call them that, destroyed all the other planes. But the reason the F-16 was able to overcome the other planes or the F-35 and F-22 is because those pilots are very experienced, number one. So whenever they key up and say, okay, this plane is dead, right? So he pretends to be dead. Well, if you're flying in a squadron and you know about, well, you're up against a stealth fighter here, and in reality, you would know that because you don't see any other planes around. You scatter, right? So what the F-16s did was they scattered, and so when they an F-16 can way outturn most any other plane in the world. There's a few planes that can outturn it, but again, they're way smaller and they cannot outrun the F-16. So the F-16 was created just for that purpose. During the time that the F-16 was created, it was created because of its maneuverability, but they had to have certain requirements met, and the F-16 met all those requirements. So when you're talking about maneuverability versus speed, there's a big difference because the F-16 could do a 180 practically on a dime. And so that's what they did. They simply reversed the direction they were going. And of course, hey, look what we found. And since the stealth fighters outnumbered, well, it's nothing after that for them to destroy the stealth fighters. See, so but when you're talking about birds, you know, if I'll paint the picture for you properly here. Let's say a sparrow is being chased by one of these eagles. Well, a sparrow is a very small bird, and it can really get through the thicket. Of course, it's a lot smaller, so it can fit through, like it can fold in its wings and zoom through a small area to where the eagle, he's going to put on the brakes, right? I mean, let's face it, he's not going to get through that thicket. There's no way in hell. But the sparrow cannot kill that eagle. It doesn't even stand a chance. You're talking about a bird that can fly upside down. So if it tries to attack it on its back, he's just going to flip over and grab that bird and kill it, right? So he's an absolute carnivore, the eagle is, compared to those other birds. And that eagle can kill birds 2 or 3 times its size. So you're talking about more of an F-22 to where if you get on the back of an F-22, they got missiles that fire backwards. You don't want to do that on an F-22. You want to try to take it at an angle, if anything. That would be the F-22's only weakness if it had a weakness. But it's really interesting to watch these birds. I've seen so many birds I've never even heard of in my life. We have everything from parakeets to parrots here to everything in between, and there are over 500 varieties of birds. That's why I'm always out bird watching, but I'm not doing it in the mornings any longer because the sun is just too bright. And if there's cloud cover, I'll do it, but if there's not enough cloud cover, I'm not going to do it. And there is no cloud cover today, so you can forget it. So I'm definitely moving that towards more in the afternoon, not the evening, the afternoon. And the reason is because there's just so many birds flying. You're going to see ducks flying around here. I saw the most beautiful duck flying yesterday. About 6 to 6:30 maybe or so. They even landed on the roof for a while and then they took off. But these ducks are just outrageously beautiful. They have a layer of the brown, and then they have a layer of white on their wings, all the way from their body to the tip of their wings, and then a layer of brown again, and then of course it gets lighter at the towards the back of the wing. Just absolute gorgeous duck. And there was a pair of them. So ducks do travel in pairs. They are they're very connected like that. So like it would be like a married couple, for example, for people. Some people that are idiots that just they don't know what that's about, and then you got other couples that do, right? So men in particular are very possessive like that, I would say. Some women are as well, but it's pretty interesting just to watch how the birds interact. Different breeds of birds are totally different than other breeds of birds as far as character, as far as how they act, whether they're very aggressive or whether they're not aggressive at all. Um, but at the end of the day, birds are a very loving creature. They really are, especially sparrows. They're very family oriented too, especially ducks. Again, ducks are very family oriented. Ducks and sparrows. Certain breeds of birds are, and others are not so much like that. Like your eagles. Your eagles do raise their young, of course, up into a certain age. But once they kick that bird out of the nest, it's not far long after that before they're totally on their own. Um, In fact, they're pretty much on their own at that point, depending on the breed. But some eagles, even though they kick it out of the nest, they will continue to train the bird, like how to hunt and those kind of things, which uh, is highly remarkable because some breeds of bird do not do that. Some birds, once they kick that bird out of the nest, the parents are done helping that bird. The bird's either going to make it or it's not. And wow, that's pretty ruthless, isn't it? um, so it's pretty interesting just to, and you can compare the way that they act to people in a lot of ways. I don't watch them for all of that so much; it's just there. But I watch them because of the simple beauty of the bird. I just think they're a beautiful creature. I think the birds belong in the wild. They definitely don't belong in captivity unless they're injured or something like that. Um, I don't have a problem with birds in a habitat so much because um, they're that's where you get your interaction, where kids can go to a bird habitat and learn about birds. So that's why. Also, there are habitats for birds that are there to help the bird breed so that it don't go extinct. It's too bad that we didn't find a way to save a lot of breeds of these birds. There used to be an ocean bird that existed in my lifetime. This bird, when they there was one bird that the Chinese caught. The Chinese actually made these birds go extinct by killing them off because these birds are great fisher. They were great fishermen, so to speak. They can fish large fish, um, certain size sharks. Like a 6 foot shark would be nothing for one of these birds to swoop down and grab and take up, and or go underwater and kill the son of a bitch, and then drag it to the top and then fly off with it eventually. Um, these birds were just an amazing creature. They look a lot like an eagle, but they weren't. They were not related to the eagle, but they had a wingspan of 40 feet long. You should Google that and look up those birds. Seabirds at that time generally range from 20 feet to 40 feet wingspans. And the kicker of that is this bird was not a large bird for its breed. So 40 feet would be like an adolescent, or not an adolescent, a teenager, but it would not be a full grown bird. And these birds are said to be much larger, and they believe that these particular breeds of bird had up to a 50, maybe even up to a 60, but I thought 60 was highly stretching it. But definitely a 50, maybe even a 54-foot wingspan. Now, you got to imagine that is a dinosaur. It's freaking humongous. But we do know that they had a 40-foot wingspan. And that in of itself is amazingly long. You're talking about a bird with a wingspan almost as long as my room. It's unheard of. You're talking about a bird that could probably stand 14 feet tall. I mean, let's face it, you're talking about a bird that can pick an adult human being up and fly off with it if he wanted to. Um, I find it remarkable that we were not on their menu, and that they were not more plentiful, and that the human race even survived. I mean, if you take a bird like that and the human race was on the menu, we wouldn't even be here today. We would be the ones that were extinct. And so I don't know. Just birds are just this kind of a hobby of mine. Um, I just like them. I'm no bird expert, of course. I'm not by far. I'm not a bird expert, but I'm just like you. I'm just interested in birds. Um, so definitely in the afternoon, I think you're gonna enjoy it a lot more because you're gonna have a much better view. Oh, you're gonna love the view, and you're gonna see a larger a variety of birds. So I'll probably be kicking those off around 5 p.m. in the afternoon, and it'll go from about 5 until it starts getting dark probably. So it'll go for a couple of hours. Because it's not getting dark here till about 8 p.m. or so. So I guess I could take the stream as long as 3 hours, but I probably won't take it that long. It'll probably be like 2.5 hour kind of thing. Um, and then of course when we do the time change, it'll go back to getting dark here about 7:30. So. Mm, it's really cool when people know that you leave a group and they know that you've absolutely left that group, that you're not going back. Because then you start getting these cool people to call you, like people you never even knew existed in some cases, and they start telling you things, and they're just so happy that you woke up and about certain people and things of that nature. It's really good. Um, Recently, I left Kermit and Friends, and the calls I've been getting, not so much about Elisa Jordana as about some of these other characters that are involved around her. Um, I'll give you an example. Y'all know when Leaf says that he's not gay, and he always tries to throw that in your face that he's been married for over 20 years? Here's something Leaf don't know about me. I was not raised around my brothers or my sister, and they are all bisexual. My oldest brother is absolutely way more gay than he ever was straight, and he was married to 5 Miss USAs. I'm just kidding. He was married to one Miss Texas, who was one of the top 3 Miss USAs, and but the other 4 were every bit as more gorgeous, or as gorgeous, or more in certain ways. So yeah, he was something else, but it doesn't matter. And he had 5 children, by the way, that I know of in his lifetime. And I can tell you that being married does not mean you are not gay. And when it comes to Leaf, he's absolutely gay. Just like Gonzo. Gonzo's gay. I mean, I love Gonzo, though. Gonzo has really proven to me he's a very smart guy. He's a very kind guy. And he doesn't hate. He's not a hater. So if you're not a hater, I'm automatically going to like you. I don't care who you are. And so it's just the way I am. It's the way I'm built, the way I'm made, okay, the way I'm programmed. So if you're a hater, though, I don't care who you are. I'm not going to like you. You're these little stupid ass immature people that are, what are they? Racist people. I can't stand racist people. These people are the dumbest people on the planet, right? And so I just got no room for that. I judge people by their intelligence level, number one, and then after that, it's how they act. And I say that because I run into people that are so dumb, I don't want to know them in real life. Like, if I don't want you near me in person, yeah, like, I don't mind if you come up, say hi, and we could talk, but it's not like we're going to be going hanging out at the restaurant, because let's face it, you're too dumb for me to talk to. And I'm not going to lower my intelligence level to entertain you, okay? Forget it. So, but That don't mean I dislike these people in any way or hate them, see, because they're really good, nice people, right? But then you got these other people that go anywhere. They range from the most ignorant people all the way up to the some people that seem like they're very intelligent. And these people are just dumb. You know, you can have a brain like it as far as knowing how to do your science, your math, and you might even be able to figure out things that nobody else can figure out. But at the end of the day, if you're dumb, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to even know you in some cases. Like they could be racist or whatever. They could be gay and hate straights or Christians, or you can be Christians and hate gays or whatever. I don't want to know any of those people because that tells me right there that you are amongst the most dumbest people on the planet. So why should I lower my intelligence level to have to even communicate with you? See? So I'm not going to do that. So I judge people by their character too, not just by how intelligent they are. And your actions tell me everything I need to know about you as a human being. See? And so when people just act so damn dumb like that, you're not ever going to be on the same level as these people. So when it comes to people like Gonzo, I like Gonzo. High Pitch Eric, I do not like him because he is a very ignorant person. But on the other hand, he's a very nice guy too. He can be very nice, a very sweet guy. The reason I don't like him is because he constantly passively attacks literally everybody. And I think he does not like straight people. And I don't think he likes Christian people, but I don't know about that one. I do know that he don't like straight people. And I absolutely do not like High Pitch Eric. Not to mention, who the hell could listen to that stupid voice for more than a few minutes, right? And why would I want to unblock you? If I blocked you, there was a reason, which means you're staying blocked, most likely. I don't know. Discord goes back and forth. But on here, if I block you, you're staying blocked. I will never unblock anybody from here. At this point forward that I block on YouTube. If you get blocked on YouTube, you're staying blocked. I don't care who you are. And in some cases, I go back with all of my channels and make sure that they're blocked. Because I love you. I don't even know you. So, but yeah, I've received some calls about some of these people. Leaf is just a prime example. He is absolutely gay. Uh, some gay people in their delusional mind, they try to separate gay from bisexual to pitcher to catcher to straight. If you're gay, you're gay. I don't care if you're pitching or taking, baby. That's just the way it is. Now, prison is a different thing because you're just stuck in there with men constantly. So what else are you going to do, right? But that don't mean that everybody that comes out of prison still continues that activity, because then you are gay because you absolutely like it, because you're going out of your way looking for it. When you get out of prison, there's never an excuse to be gay because, well, there's so many women out there. What the hell's your problem? Men are heavily outnumbered by women, so if you can't get laid, you might as well just shoot yourself because you're too stupid. So even ugly people can get laid. They just need to go find other not so good looking women, maybe. Yeah, that's no excuse because I love you. What did you do to get blocked? Trash talking? No, you're not getting unblocked if you're trash talking, because I'm not unblocking trash talkers, because I'm not going to waste all day, every single day, all week, every week, all month trash talking, because then you can never accomplish anything in life. Nothing. I might as well just shoot my fucking self if I'm going to do nothing but talk to trash talkers 24/7. I mean, literally, it's very redundant. I'm not going to become involved with something so adolescent as trash talking constantly. I don't know why people think I'm just this trash talker that sits up here and talks trash, because that's exactly the opposite of who I really am. And yeah, if I'm down in a bunch of beers and you get me in the right scenario, shit, man, I'll sit up here and trash talk all day, all night long till I pass out. But I've heavily cut out the drinking, as you can see, so I have no reason to indulge in that activity. So I would say you're probably staying blocked on Discord. I'll think about it, but I don't know why you're blocked, and you can't even tell me why you're blocked, which tells me you're probably just one of these trash talkers I do not need to unblock. You see, because you're going to repeat your mistake again. You're probably going to come after me with some more false BS or something, and I get enough of that every day, all day long. It's nonsense. People want to fall into that delusional realm of, oh, you are a pedophile. Oh, you're a baby raper, or what the fuck ever, man. Y'all have at it with each other, because you're not going to get people like me involved into your bullshit. Okay? When I argue with people, it's for a reason. I have an objective. But I do not argue with people just to argue with people. That's it's just, oh, it's so goddamn dumb. My ear itches. Like, oh, this ear itches so bad. Who's thinking about me? That's what I want to know. Whew. I don't know, but that feels a lot better. I think I might need a little more. Whew. Man, this ear just started itching like crazy, and now it's not the one that itches so bad. All right. Ugh, I don't know why. Could be anything. Maybe one of my beard hairs stuck up in there and tickled it. A little tickle of the ear. Next thing you know, your ear's itching. So yeah, how's everybody doing this morning? I hope you're having a wonderful morning. Man, I just woke up a little bit ago myself. It's kind of like John Mazza. That's not even his real name. How many of you idiots did not know that? That's his stage name. It's like you can Google things about Elisa Jordana and you can believe that's her real name. I mean, if you didn't know any better, if he had only used the name Elisa Jordana for all of his adult life, for example, like since he was 19 years old, you would never know his original name unless you really went looking for it. In some cases, that could take you a long time. It could take you a year and a half, or it might take a team of people putting their heads together. Who is this son of a bitch? And I've been through that, so I do know about that. But Elisa Jordana is not her real name. Neither is John Mazza. It's Tony Baroni. And Tony Baroni is absolutely gay. And yet both of these people contend that they are not gay. They swear up and down that they are not gay. I am not a crook, right? Shut the fuck up. And they're great salesmen, though. And I guess, given what they've been doing with their adult life, they had to be great salesmen. But yeah, Leaf is obviously not Leaf, and Tony Stark is obviously not his name. So these people are a trip. They're a trip. Both of them have a common problem, though. When you look at a guy like Wits In, Wits is so dumb. He even tells you that he wants complete autonomous control over Kermit and Friends. He wants to be the undeniable dictator and leader of Kermit and Friends. That's his entire goal. Not to mention moving in with Elisa Jordana. This guy in voice chat constantly brags about how he's going to end up living with her, and how she is going to end up being his bitch. She's going to do the cleaning. She's going to do the cooking. She's going to take out the trash, and she's going to be the one that earns a living for the household. And he's not going to do nothing but sit there and play on his computer online all day long. Well, that's why his wife is leaving his ass. That is why I'm throwing a party on the 30th, celebrating the bye of Wits In, who everybody knows is Robert Lee DeHaven. He lives in between Kentucky and Indiana, and he's fixing to be a 40-year-old homeless bitch. But I couldn't think of anyone better for that to happen to than this piece of trash. And I promise you, it does not matter who he moves in with. I'm going to enjoy having a talk with them. Oh, and the fun I'm going to have with them in their personal, real lives. So they better hope he don't move in with them and that he does go homeless, because they're not going to like the conversations that we're going to have. But I can promise you this. His wife is done with him, and he's never been able to sustain himself. See, this guy has never been able to take care of himself. You want to talk about a snowflake? Oh my God, this guy just thinks that he's so entitled that you better support his ass. Otherwise, there's going to be consequences. Bye-bye, bitch. That's all I got to say to that guy. So anybody that's not a trash talker or a stalker or any troublemaker like those kind of people, you're welcome to come to my house on the 30th. I am having a party in celebration of this piece of shit kind of a human being going homeless. I think it's a great thing. This is a great thing for all Americans and for everybody online as well, because if he's going to be online, it's going to be very limited time, because I don't think he'll probably go a month or maybe 3 at the most having a cell phone where he can get online for certain periods of time throughout the month. But after that, you're never going to hear from him again. And because he's not going to get in an RV and be successful, because he's too stupid. He might actually make it for a while and get donations by driving around in an RV and being as stupid as he is. But at the end of the day, he's stupid. He's going to end up getting public intoxications, which ain't nothing. But he will get DWIs and DUIs. And so he'll end up in jail. And I think he knows it. I think that's why he doesn't care if he goes to jail for the things that he's done. But he absolutely belongs in a fucking prison. This guy's a fucking idiot lunatic. And he's the biggest trash talker online, but he's also, in real life, he's the biggest sissy. And he knows it, which makes him the biggest pussy trash talker online. Now, he may not be the biggest that I've ever known, but he's definitely a coward. So he is not going to join IP2 and be a success to any degree. And I've already saw to that. He's got zero chance of that ever happening. So I don't know why he came so delusional on that. I don't think he can go it alone because he doesn't have the talent and there's not going to be any content there. I mean, what's he going to be doing? Driving around an RV by himself? Because let's face it, nobody likes this guy. Who's going to get an RV with that piece of trash? Nobody. So at the end of the day, he's not going to get an RV and be successful. He might go to driving a big truck over the road for a while, but let's face it, he doesn't like the work. He's never going to make it driving a truck, ever. That will not last. Now, he might get in a truck and want to live stream and be seen driving around like Boy Howdy or something, but he's going to end up being so indulged with live streaming. When they tell him to back that truck up to the dock, he's going to be saying, all right, give me a minute. Goddamn, man, I'm fucking with my online stream here for a minute, motherfucker. And they're going to tell him to leave and get the fuck out of there. And he's going to get fired because he wasn't allowed to make the deliveries, right? And so this guy's never going to make it as a truck driver. I guarantee you. I guarantee it. Not locally either. People are not going to put up with a guy like this slimy piece of trash, especially when they find out what kind of person he is. Oh, that's a whole nother topic. See, when you have 12 people calling your boss, racking you for all the shit that you've already done, let alone the shit you're probably going to do or up to at that moment, it's just, you're not going to be able to keep a job. There's no fucking way on this earth, on this planet. And when it comes to Rob DeHaven, I will see to it because that's what he does to everybody else. And that's what he did to Elisa Jordana. The guy even bragged about it. And then he turns around and says, prove it. Oh, I can absolutely prove it, Rob. I can absolutely prove it. And all we got to do is get Elisa Jordana on my live stream to talk and call and talk to all of her co-workers. And I promise you, they're going to be mentioning at least one, if not more. I would say all of them will mention more names than just Rob DeHaven. People like Rick Moser, people like, what's that motherfucker's name? Oh, John Taylor. People like Harry Brogan. See, Rick and Harry, those are the fake nice guys. They'll go in and talk to people, and like let's say Rick finds somebody, one of her coworkers, right? He'll introduce them to Rob, and then they'll all start hanging out and talking like they're just a bunch of good old boys. And then next thing you know, well, then they bring in Harry Brogan, and Harry goes in there, and oh, he's just the sweetest guy in the world. And then, of course, then comes in John Taylor with, well, have you seen this person over here? We need to go after that slimy son of a bitch. And then they'll start associating Elisa with these people, right? That's exactly what they did to Elisa. And they painted this false narrative, this false bad picture of her through association. This is why she does not associate with good people, because if she does, no matter who she associates with, her boss is going to look at her like she's a bad person because she associated with those people. See? And that's her biggest mistake, is caving into hearsay like that, right? Of course it is. And look, I'm very well liked by people apparently that she works with. I didn't know you guys even watched my live streams. Apparently her boss tunes into a lot of them. So for that reason, if that was one of her reasons for going against me and to keep siding with Team Hate over there, it is remarkable, because anybody who's associated with somebody who would call an emergency room when anybody's in there just to give them a bad name is the worst kind of piece of shit online. I don't even want to know you. And that is Elisa Jordana, because they have done that and many more things in my personal life. So, and most of y'all know all about all of those stories. They've taken little cuts out of videos to try to make me look like a pedophile. So then, and they also sent the police those reports because they get so drunk. What's really more impressive is they get innocent people that don't know anything about me or nothing about nothing to do those things. See? And it's not going to work. It's just anybody that would fall into that kind of stupidity is stupid them damn selves. They got a stupid brain cell up in their brain somewhere. And so I don't want to really associate with them people. You understand? I may not hate all of them, but I don't want to associate with them. There are some that come out of the rough. Every once in a while, you get a diamond out of the rough. That is true. But Elisa, when it comes to Elisa, how do you reward somebody who got you fired? Oh, Elisa quit her job, but really she was fired because her boss knew that she was not going to cave into sex with him just to keep her job. Right? Let's face it. And so she obviously had to quit at a certain point, or she was going to have to give up the goods. And if she did, she was going to be video recorded, and that video was going to end up in the hands of Rob DeHaven. In fact, there would have been many of those videos end up in his hands. But yet she loves this guy. She made him an admin in her group, and she made him a producer in her group. And today, I think he's going to be named the producer of her group. And I think she deserves it 100%. It doesn't matter who she names the producer. She's lost her freaking marbles here, right? Because it's already set that there are so many people that are throwing eggs at her right now that don't like her in real life. And I'm talking about in Hollywood, not just me or you or so many other people that can't stand her. She's just like Danny. Danny from LA, I asked him the other day, or yesterday, last night I asked him even again, and I'll ask him again right now. Is there one person that you know, Danny, that you have not backstabbed for the sake of content? And he goes dead silent, because he cannot name a single human being that he knows, that he has known, like for a long time, like for a year or two kind of thing, that he can name. Of course, he meets new people all the time online. He can name all of those people. Big freaking deal. Oh, you know so-and-so for 3 months? Big deal. And if you're an IP2, of course, he hasn't backstabbed hardly any of those people because he wants to be in good with them. Because nobody else likes this sleazeball piece of shit. He went after me for the longest, and then he turned right around and wants to come in on my panel and be my buddy all of a sudden. Fuck that piece of shit. I will never trust anybody like that. And if you do, you're the dumbest motherfucker on the planet. I'll tell you what, you're invited to my house if you're that dumb, because I will slap the shit out of your motherfucking ass in your face. And then I'll come back and hand you a big, fat, juicy hamburger and say, hey, buddy, come on over here. Let's do a live stream together. And you'll be like, up. You'll be looking at that burger like, okay. No, Danny is a filthy piece of trash. And I tried to get him to do a live stream with me last night just so I could go after him in ways that I haven't even talked about yet. He is such a piece of trash, man, let me tell you. And I think it's funny that these people just think that that is content and everybody's just going to be okay with it. Fuck you. No. People do not go for that shit. See, for the same reason Danny doesn't have any friends, nobody wants to watch that kind of content. Nobody even wants to know people like that, right? Of course not. Do you? Do you want that as a friend? No, because it's guaranteed they are going to backstab you out of self-greed. They'll wake up one day, and if they don't have content, and they can't see no content for the next 3 days unless something just pops up, they're going to look around and, hey, my best buddy over here, that's content. And he's going to go after them and fuck them in their ass as best as he can, just for the sake that he has content for one fucking day. Or for 3 days. It's pretty immature. It's so damn dumb. It's not even fathomable, right? So, this is the way Rob DeHaven is, though, in real life. This is why he doesn't have any friends. His own family rejects him. They don't even want him around, because if he moves in with them, they're very likely to have a lot of problems in their personal life. Like, all of their neighbors are going to be very aware of who that trashy filth is that they moved in with them. All of their employees in their workplaces, for who all these people are that's related to these people, are going to have a lot of major problems. And I'm not saying that's just because of me, but it's because there's a lot of you people out there that don't like this guy that will be going after him. I guarantee you that. And so nobody wants this guy around. Like, he's already caused them too many problems. He ain't got a snowflake chance of hell in moving in with any of his family members and staying there for any prolonged period of time. And he knows that. He knows he's going homeless. He tries to tell me, can we just, I don't know, have a ceasefire? It's like there's two sides of this coin. He wakes up one day and he wants to be the nicest, sweetest little faggot in town. And then the next day, or by that night, as soon as he pops open that fucking can of beer, he's the worst fucking most evil demon you ever heard of in your life. Like the absolute worst. And he does not care that he's committing felonies just to go after somebody. So trust me when I tell you, this guy is going homeless. He cannot support himself. And if he was going to live to be 60 or 70, he will never get a retirement check because he's never worked a day in his life. But this is the kind of trashy filth that Elisa Jordama has put in charge of her little group over there. No, I never want to know that stupid bitch again for the rest of my life, just because of the fact that she is not only that damn dumb, but because she's just like Danny from LA. She has literally backstabbed almost everybody that she personally knows. There's certain people she won't go after because in real life they got shitloads of money. Let's face it. But those are very few people. You're talking maybe 5 to 7 people that she has in her life that she's not fucked over one way or the other just for the sake of content. And that includes her own family. She downgraded her own family the other day because her entire family is now set against her. They don't like her because and they grudge watch her live stream. And then on top of that, she's so delusional in her mind, she thinks that she's better than everybody or anybody that ever came out of that family. That's what a stupid fucking low-life piece of trash that she is. That's what kind of person she is. Look, nobody is better than anybody else on this planet, ever. It does not matter how much fucking money you got. Donald Trump ain't no better than me or you or anybody else. He's not. He's worth more money, but that's it. That's it. Now, he's a great guy in real life, but okay, that might take his value up quite a bit. And once you start getting into the nicky pickies of it, of course, Donald Trump would rate way the fuck up there compared to most any of us. But at the end of the day, he's not really worth more than anything else, unless you put a monetary value on life. And if you do that, you're a stupid low-life piece of trash. See, because let's face it, if a bus was burning up, and I go running up to that bus, and there's only 2 people I can save off of that bus, and you are on this side of the bus, and Donald Trump is on the other end, on the other side of that bus, I'm not going to run. I'm not going to stop, be maybe 7 feet from you and think, let me see, you or Donald Trump. I'm not going to run around a bus and save Donald Trump and let you burn to death. I'm going to save you. And if he burns to death, well, fuck, man, I tried. I'll try to save both of you, but I'm going to save you first because you're the closest. I can get you out right now. So if I run around the bus to save him, I'm committing you to death. I would never fucking do that. Not in a billion fucking years and beyond. That will never happen. And anybody that would do that is just a low-life piece of fucking trash. Or they would have to be very much in love with that person. Like they would have to be somebody very close to that person. Because again, if my son was on the other side of that bus and you're over here, fuck you. I'm going to go save my son. Let's face it. That's the only time that story would change, right? And, but outside of that, I mean, what are you talking? You run up to a bus and, there's a person here and a person there. I'm going to save this person, right? That is true. It's true anytime, every time that scenario would take place, and you know it. So look at Elon Musk. He has his opinion about a lot of things, but he's kind of dumb on certain things, if you notice, and he's kind of a genius in certain direction, and he's just of average intelligence on most things. He does have a lot of brains. I mean, he's a very smart guy. He may be more intelligent than me. Of course, he's had more leeway to become that educated. But when it comes to just flat out intelligence, I don't know of anybody more intelligent than me. Like seriously, Einstein was not any smarter than me or probably most of you. He was afforded the proper education to become as intelligent as he became. There are people that are more educated than other people. Let's face it. You want to talk about one such person? I mean, I can name a lot of them off. A lot of these people I can name off. Tony Baroni is one of them. Okay, it's not Baroni. It's Bender. Tony Bender is his real name. Okay, I know y'all know that. It's out there. It's been out there. But Tony Bender is his real birth name. And he's gone by all of these other aliases. So everybody thinks his name is John Mazza, but that's not his name. If he goes to work somewhere, he'll use that name, but it's not his real name. So like if he works at a school faculty, for example, it would be the equivalent of using the email John Mazza at lowlycollege.com or .edu or whatever, right? So you think his name is John Mazza, but that is not his birth name. It's not. Just like Kelly Taylor is not her birth name, and she's had a couple of other names, married names that she's used for a long time, but her birth name is Stephen. She's been a Stevens forever because that's her birth name. See, isn't that cool how that works? Some people can really fool a lot of people. And most people can't even find these people's birth names. They're so dumb. They just believe, that's Elisa Jordana. Some of you even believe her last name is Elisa Schwartz. Some of you even believe that she was born a female. I don't know how you believe that once you know the truth. And but here's the thing. If I were lying or if I were wrong, then why don't she post her birth certificate? Because she doesn't have one from the United States. That's why. And she doesn't have one that says female on it. And if she did have one, it's out of India. And it says male on it. See, that's why. That's number one. And she's had months to post that birth certificate. But when you mention it to her, boop, she won't talk to you for the rest of the day. Whenever you bring up that topic again, you can say, okay, I'll tell you what, you can even make up a fake birth certificate from another country. And that would be very hard for us to prove or disprove. We would have to get on the phone and probably pay somebody off with $100 in order for them to go look for us and see if that was a real birth certificate or not. That's how difficult that is to find out that about somebody if they make up a fake birth certificate from another country. If it even looks like it's real, right? And that's a big if. And I'll come into that paperwork issue here in a minute. But so I offered her this. I said, I'll tell you what, and I still, this is an outstanding offer. Like it's never going to end. I will pay for the blood test to have her tested for the Y chromosome. And if she has that Y chromosome, then of course I'm right. She was born a male. But it's funny because I can show you 10 transvestites online that are better looking as a female than her. In most cases, you may never ever guess that these women or these guys were guys, that these women were guys. They're men, they're males. They were not born female. Unless you start looking and digging in, and then of course you figure it out. Adam's apple is the biggest #1 giveaway, and I do got a picture of her with an undeniable Adam's apple. I did not know about something called Adam's apple shaving. I did not know that exists, but he apparently had his Adam's apple shaved, and it's very difficult to see the Adam's apple, almost impossible. He has to hold his head back like this in order for you to see the bones in the throat. And you may even, in some of these cases, you may even need to put your finger there and run it up and down on the throat and feel the bones in the throat. See, there are a lot of giveaways. You can measure the head to the shoulder, which I've done, obviously at the male, or you can look at the hand, and that's why she holds her hand this way at an angle instead of up like this anymore. I told her, hold your hand up, and she went like this, and oh, no, because she had a feeling. She knows the routine and the rules of man versus female, or man versus woman, right? Male versus female, whatever. So she held her hand up like this, and it was a dead giveaway. Her finger is a lot bigger. The ring finger is a lot longer than the #1 finger. Only men have that. There's a small percentage of women, and it's less than 1%, that is the case. So that is not 100%. And even if it were 3%, I would still be at least 97% correct in calling her a man just by her holding her hand up. But that Adam's apple is 100%. So I've been knowing that she was a male for, a long fucking time. And people thought I was wanting to marry this stupid fucking transvestite. You've lost your fucking ever-loving mind. But he does act just like a woman. He gets people to sucker to fall in love with him or become infatuated. Let's call it for what it is. And because you can't, it's not possible to fall in love with somebody that you've never actually met and you don't know. And I don't care what anybody says. You could fall in heavy like with somebody, which I call a heavy interest. And you can fall into this false delusion of who they are online, but you can never know these people, like as far as who they are in real life, until you actually meet them. There's a lot of potentials online. These dating sites, men do those things, and they'll date 30, 40, 50 women before they find the one that they like and that they want to marry or even move in with them. That's just a fact. So you're not, if you think you're going to get online and get married right away, you lost your fucking mind. It does happen though. That I've seen that actually happen. Whew, it's far and few between now. Very far and few between. I know a guy that on his third woman he met on a dating site, he married her, and he's married to her to this day. Um, okay, back to the fake paperwork. This brings up Captain Content. Now, Captain Content, Monison, whatever his fucking name is, he's stupid. But anyway, so people were accusing him of having AIDS, and he claimed that he went down and had an AIDS test. And then he showed up some paperwork that said it was AIDS test. It was written in there negative, that he did, meaning he does not have AIDS. That was false paperwork. I don't know, but if I was a cop, I think I would want to arrest him for falsifying government paperwork, because and that can go up to a felony. But here's the thing: if he knowingly transfers HIV, it's an automatic felony. And depending on what state you're in, depends on how much time you get in prison over it. It could be up to 20 years. But you'll definitely get 10 years out of it. And here's the other thing. That paperwork never says the word AIDS on it. It never says that. It never stipulates that. It always stipulates HIV. And then there are certain levels to that HIV. Of course, the last level being full-blown AIDS is eventually what they refer to it as. But when you're testing for it, you're testing for HIV. And the paperwork is full-size paperwork. I ain't got any with me right now, but y'all know what I'm saying. Full-size paperwork, all right? 11 by 8. So, and he would hold it up, and he would have to put it really close to the camera for you to see that little bitty fucking writing in there. And instead of saying negative, let me tell you, because I've had these tests, I get them every fucking 3 months to 6 months, because I get a full fucking blood workup. It's required that I have these blood workups just because of my blood condition. Not because I can't even catch AIDS. I can't even catch any virus. But when you hold that paperwork up, or when you're reading it, technically, when it says the test for the HIV, it doesn't even say negative. That's how stupid this motherfucker is. He's never been tested for AIDS. It says positive. Because if it says positive on the test, then you are negative. And why is that? Because they are testing for a certain allergen that you have in your body. And if you've got HIV, that is positive. You tested positive for it. So you don't have it. But if you do have it, then it's going to show up negative. It's going to show up negative because it's dropped down below a certain amount because you do have HIV. They're not testing for the virus. They're testing your body for what should be in your body. And that is how they test for HIV. And only you people that have been tested for HIV, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Or if you're a doctor or a nurse or anybody that's been educated along these lines, you can educate yourself by going and reading up on it. I've had these tests. I've had the paperwork in the past many times. Hell, I could probably fucking show it to you next month. I go down and get another blood test, right? Who the fuck cares? The point is, you don't get a little fucking piece of paper slip like it's written out by your fucking teacher that says AIDS test negative. No. He falsified that paperwork. Absolutely 100,000%. Because that paperwork's 11 by 8, and right there where it says HIV test, it's going to say positive if you don't have it. And it's going to say negative if you do have it. Not many people know that. And the people that don't understand this, if they even are listening to this video, they're going to be thinking, that don't even make no fucking sense. Well, yeah, in a way it don't, but if you understand it, then it makes 100% sense. What don't make sense is that you don't understand that. And I forget what they test for. It's something in the body that they test for. But if you come up negative for having that in your body, because really you may still have it. You could be at the early stages of HIV. But what will happen is HIV attacks this particular part of your blood. And so what happens is it masks it. So when they test you for that, it don't register. So you drop below the count to be positive for it. So if you come down negative, you have HIV. And only HIV attacks your body that way. No other virus on the planet attacks your body that way. And they would know that because there is one other thing. It's called Ebola. But Ebola is way worse. It also attacks another allergen within your body. And they also test for that when they're tested for HIV. And that will also come up negative. See? And then they test for many other things, like, is this positive or not? And it should say negative for quite a ways under there. I think the next 8 under there should be negative, right? But what happens is when you catch Ebola, or in particular HIV, your body starts creating a defense against it to the level that when they test for that, it's going to come up positive. So you should be negative if you don't have it, and you're going to be positive in those categories if you do have it. But they know the difference between Ebola and HIV when they're testing you, because they test you for everything, all of that stuff when they test you for that. It's called a full blood workup. You should go get one. And then you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, because you're going to get that paperwork, and you're going to be look down there where it says where the little part is where you've been tested for HIV, and it's going to say positive if you do not have it. And then you're going to say, wait a minute, but it's positive. And then when you ask the person that hands you that fucking paperwork, or you go take it to your doctor and ask them, they're going to explain this to you. Of course it says positive. That's because you don't have it. And then you're going to go, phew. But why would it say positive here? I mean, everybody I showed this to thinks I got AIDS. Everybody I know thinks I got AIDS now. And then they'll explain it to you. And then you go explain it to your friends. And then they'll kind of be like, okay, at first. And then when they ask around, they're going to learn this. And then they're going to be like, all right, buddy. Whew, man, I'm glad to find out you don't got AIDS. Woo, you know, it'll be like that. I've seen that actually happen to people. And it's very interesting. But no, Captain America absolutely printed off some bullshit piece of paper and showed it to everybody, because he is that fucking stupid in real life. He's that dumb. You got to be really fucking stupid to think you could get away with some shit like that, right? Absolutely, you do. You cannot go down to get your to donate plasma and get a little slip of fucking paper like that. You got to go. If you don't have the full fucking 11x8, you do not have an official blood test for HIV. And you're not going to get that from donating plasma. You have to go down to the hospital to get the blood work up, because they're the only ones that are going to do it properly anyway. I've actually heard of that happening too, when people go down to the what's it called, the plasma center, and then they think that because they're donating plasma that they don't have AIDS. And then they end up going to the hospital and finding out they do have AIDS. And then they're telling the doctor, but I went down there for the past 3 months. They told me I didn't have AIDS. Well, I'm sorry, buddy. You got AIDS. And so the plasma centers are not the place to go to actually get tested for HIV. That's the dumbest thing to even think of. What's up there, Crow? How are you doing this morning? So I'm just pointing out to these people how Captain America falsified his paperwork, and how dumb that was to even think about doing it. Because surely there's most of the people in IP2 have had it or have AIDS, and they know what I'm talking about with that paperwork. And I've heard so many people at IP2 say that they left IP2 because they didn't want to get any STD because everybody in IP2 is having sex with each other. And like 90% of everybody in IP2 either has some other sexual transmitted diseases or they do have HIV. So I don't know what got into his mind, but that just tells me that Captain America, or I mean Captain Content, he damn sure ain't Captain America. He's not even from America. The faggot's from Spain. And he is a faggot. He is gay. So I don't want to hear that shit. But he's never been tested for HIV in his life, or he would have known better than to come up with that little stupid piece of slip that said AIDS test negative. No, that is not the proper paperwork for that type of blood work. It simply is not. So when they say he's had sex with people that have had AIDS, or that, excuse me, not have had, that do have AIDS, I bet you right now he does have AIDS, and this is why everybody's telling you he's got AIDS. Lala, who's in his RV now, went into his trash can several months ago and pulled out a piece of paper with his name on it, and it was, what was that? It was medication for somebody that has HIV. I think he knowingly has HIV. But when these people that take medication so they can't give it to anybody else, they think they can't give it to anybody else. By law, they are not allowed to have sex with people who does not have HIV. And did you know this? If you have a more advanced version of HIV and you give that to somebody that has HIV, you can still be prosecuted for murder or attempted murder. That's a fact. I actually saw that on TV here, a case right here in Texas where that was a case. And they gave that guy 26 fucking years in prison. I couldn't believe it. I didn't think that was fair. I didn't even think it was fair to him. How the fuck do you do that? Well, I think it was 26 years. It was over 20 years. People that give people that don't have HIV, even on accident or on like they didn't give a fuck and they were just out there still having sex with people, they don't get that much time. They don't get that much time. In Texas, I've seen people get about 20 years in prison. Generally, you'll get 10 years. Like if you unknowingly had it and gave it to somebody, they'll give you 10 years in prison. They'll be nice to you. You only got to go get fucked in the ass for 10 years or suck a cock for 10 years or cunt, big mama, ugly, fat ass, ugly, stinky ass bitch that never takes a shower kind of shit. But if you knowingly give it to somebody in the state of Texas, you're going to get 20 years. They gave this guy over 20 years, and he simply gave somebody a more advanced version of AIDS. Imagine that. So it's an unfair judgment that he got. And but nonetheless, I'm just pointing out, you can, and in most all cases, if you get caught, which you most likely will, you are going to be living the rest of your life out in prison, or a good chunk of it. So I don't know why he did that. I don't know why he's running around trying to have sex with people that may not have HIV. This doesn't make any sense. And just because you take that medication does not mean you cannot transfer HIV. Because once you get that blood on blood thing going, that medication wears off, that motherfucker got AIDS. It's simple as that. There is no medication that can guarantee that you cannot transfer HIV. Period. So some people can falsify birth certificates, but it can always be uncovered if it's real or not. Like in Obama's case, we know that for a fact. He falsified that paperwork. He should actually still to this day be arrested and fucking shot. Because he never should have legally been allowed to run for president. He knowingly falsified his birth certificate from Hawaii. And that's a fact. It don't even look like a fucking birth certificate from that time period. That was his other mistake. I can't believe that these people allowed him to run for president. That in and of itself is amazing. But that's how fucked up our country's become. And we do need to fix it. And we can, but people got to get involved. And it's not so impossible as you think. If you just get one person involved over there, you changed everything in that direction. Period. If you get 1,000 people involved, you can make major changes in this country. Look at what we did with the Supreme Court, baby. Shut the fuck up. It's amazing how many people don't even know their Bill of Rights in America. They're born here, brought up here. I know foreigners that know our Bill of Rights better than 90% of the Americans in America. They could quote it to you. But your Bill of Rights are basically everything here in America to you as an American citizen, period. If you read your Bill of Rights, when the police department messes with you in a way that conflicts with any single part of your Bill of Rights, you can sue the fuck out of them. You can see to it that they never are a fucking police officer again. In some cases, in most all cases, to be honest with you. And so you really need to learn your Bill of Rights, like big time. You need to learn your Bill of Rights. Because if a cop breaks into your house, you can legally blow their fucking brains out the back of their head, and there ain't nobody can even fucking think about taking you to court over that. So let's say a cop breaks into your house and they got the wrong address on a drug invasion. Well, in the state of Texas, you could be prosecuted if you shoot them, but not according to your Bill of Rights, which overrules the fucking state's bullshit. So therefore, if a cop breaks into your house, you blow their brains out, they really can't even arrest you for it. And if they do, you're not going to be in jail long. I can promise you that, especially if you know your Bill of Rights. So now if they identify themselves as cops, well, then you might be prosecuted if you start shooting at them. But I've actually seen that in Texas where a guy started shooting at them. He didn't shoot any of them, but he shot, I think it was about 5 shots to make sure that they knew that he had a gun and he was ready to blow their fucking brains out. Yeah, this guy was heavily armed too. They entered the wrong fucking guy's house. I don't think any of these cops would have lived if they hadn't have talked with this guy. But they did talk it out with the guy, and they did leave out of his house before he showed himself. Otherwise, he was going to start shooting the motherfuckers. And they didn't even think about arresting this guy. And even if he had shot one of them, I don't think that they could have got him prosecuted. Because he said, well, okay, if you're at the wrong address, get the fuck out of my house. Why are you here? You're illegally trespassing on my property. So if you continue, I'm going to open fire because I'm assuming that you're here under the false pretenses that you are police. And if you're really police, you're corrupt police. I got a right to defend my household. See, that's called knowing your Bill of Rights. And those cops backed out of his house. He was on the phone with the dispatchers. And once they left his house, he then showed himself outside and talked to them, but he wouldn't come off the porch. That took a long time and a lot of talking to get and within reason. So they ended up going to their proper house, but they didn't get anything because those people knew that the cops were there to make a raid on the wrong house, and it was all over the news, so they kind of fucked up their own raid. But it used to be a big thing with corrupt cops here to go to the wrong house, invade the house, and shoot a motherfucker because they didn't like them. And the people that were getting killed were Christian people. They were killing Christians in the big cities here in Texas for a long time after they passed that stupid law here in Texas. And what the law said was that a police officer can accidentally enter the wrong property on a drug raid, and nobody can sue them for that. But you can still sue them at the federal level. No matter what a fucking state law says, if you know your Bill of Rights, you can sue them at the federal level. And when that started happening, even though they never overturned the law, Texas stopped invading the wrong fucking houses. See? So these corrupt people try to pass laws against good people all the time in many states. And it just doesn't always pan out, thank God. But that comes from us understanding the Bill of Rights. And you have to know your Bill of Rights. I don't know how you don't know your Bill of Rights and you are a police officer. They need to go back to ensuring that these cops can pass a test, knowing their Bill of Rights, and they better make a fucking 90 on it. And in certain sections, they better make a 100 on it, or they should not be allowed to be a law enforcement officer anywhere in the United States of America. Because you get these dumb fucking cops up there, and they get promoted to chief of police, and you got a corrupt city council. Oh, goddamn, you got a fucking nightmare. And believe it or not, America has a lot of fucking cities that's the case. Because you get a chief of police in there that knows the Bill of Rights, and he can arrest a city council member for some of the shit that they're pulling against the people. That is why they want stupid, ignorant police chiefs. Thank God where I live, we got a very intelligent police chief. So, but he's very much more beyond that intelligent. So, man, I tell you, I don't know what to tell you people, but some people just believe any fucking thing that's shown to them online. Did you know that I'm Superman? Right now, I could get up and fly around the world in a split second and be right here. Well, you don't believe me? I'll fucking prove it to you. Watch this. I'm going to do it right now. See there? God damn, it was that fast. People probably fucking believe it. They're so fucking dumb. But this is the amount of stupidity, the level of stupidity that I'm talking about. Like, if you don't know Elisa Jordama was born a male and is a man, you're fucking retarded at this point. So, but even if she was a woman, because of her personality and her character and her actions as a human being, she has so many people that don't like her. It's way more than people that like her. You want to know why she thinks she's famous when she's never been famous? She's been well known when she was on the Howard Stern show. She was famous. I would call her famous then, because she was the only female on the show that was part of the main cast there, right? But she's not really famous anymore, and she's really kind of a has-been more than anything. And her show's so dumb that she's still trying to do the old Howard Stern shit where you stab everybody in the back and you get everybody arguing, and that's content. That is the worst kind of fucking content in today's day and age if you're going to build a show off of anything. And I proved it when I was over at her show, because I tried taking her show another direction, and she never for 1 second listened to me. And her show has gone down fucking hill ever since. Her only great saving grace at this point was that she hooked up with IP2, and a lot of people that watch IP2 now watch her fucking bullshit shit show. But it's only a few hundred people. It's a very limited audience, and it's never going anywhere. There is not a show on the face of the fucking planet that is successful anywhere with that kind of content. Name me one fucking show. Just one fucking show. You can't, because it doesn't exist. Now, in Hollywood, you get these people arguing and fighting sometimes, and you'll get one guy that used to be an actor, and he's out there fighting. And there may be 30,000 people watching that show, but it's not going to go syndicate. You're never going to fucking make a successful show out of that shit. People are not going to watch it. Within 3 months, they'll cancel the show. If not after the first month, the show will be canceled. Usually it's after the first month or within the first month. This would be the equivalent of trying to take IP2 and put it on HBO. Just shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. People are not going to watch it. It'll go for the first month, but after that, it's going to tank. People don't give a fuck about some girl fucking flipping people and showing them her ugly fucking booty. She's a dog anyway. Shut the fuck up. And I say that because if you take Goo and you compare her to, say, the girl that plays Wonder Woman, whose boobs would you rather see? And once you see Goo's little tiny little fucking boobs, what the fuck? No, fucking that. You're not going to continue to watch the show just because of her boobs. In the days of our lives, the days of those shows are dead. People quit watching that shit when the 80s hit. By 1980s, that kind of shit was dead. The only show that survived after that was Dallas. And the only reason Dallas was successful was because all of those 80 and 90-year-old people in the old folks' home used to watch Dallas. But then that died out. Nobody give a fuck. I'd never watched Dallas. I didn't give a fuck. To this day, I don't give one flipping flying fuck about watching Dallas. To me, Dallas was one of a stupid fucking show that kids, I didn't give a fuck about. I'd rather watch The Deep than to watch Dallas. And that is the stupidest fucking movie ever made, I think. People just floating in the water. Well, what do? We're just waiting to get eaten by sharks. And even though it was based off of a true story, it was the dumbest fucking movie to ever watch. It was that goddamn fucking boring. You might as well put something that floats in the water and just watch it. Do you have a pond on your property or nearby? Try that. Just go buy you a little fucking plastic, stupid looking boat, throw it way out there in the water, and just spend 1 hour of every day doing that and just watching the boat. That is how dumb that fucking movie was. In fact, spend 2.5 hours watching it because the movie was about 2 hours long anyway, right? Who the fuck is going to do that? Nobody. So IP2 is never going anywhere. It's dumb. And the content's stupid. It dies out quick. And people don't give a fuck about people not getting along and arguing. Blah, 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 blah. You might as well be watching a trash talk session. And the reason 99% of the people on the planet are never going to get involved in that trash talking bullshit is because it is that fucking stupid. But Elisa, just like Danny from LA, has done this very exact same thing. She goes after people that she knows even. She did it with Stuttering John. And now, well, of course, that's going to piss off Stuttering John. But she's done it with a lot of other people. Nobody likes this fucking bitch. Because she's been doing it for years and years and years and years. Backstabbing one person to ride the ladder on of another person's ladder. And she is referred to as a ladder rider. We call them coattail riders. But she don't want to be just barely hanging on to that coattail. She wants to be the fucking bow tie around your fucking neck. And not just any bow tie. Your most favorite bow tie. But the way she goes about getting there is the opposite of what any normal human would accept as a bow tie. So she's more like the little piece of lint that comes off of your coat that you cut off, or and then you burn the tip so it don't continue to unravel. And really, if it's of any length, you're better off just retying that sucker. You can, without tying it, you can run it through a needle and then run it through and pull it, and then run it through and tie it and pull it, run it through and tie it, pull it, and then you can run it through and do it again. I mean, you don't got to cut it off. But to give you an example, most people cut off a little lint. Like if it's a little piece of lint that's hanging off, you just slice it off and throw it away. That little piece of lint is Elisa Jordana. It's Danny from LA. It's wits in. So for her to buddy up to a low life, filthy piece of trash that will make false police reports, call an emergency room when you go to the emergency room to lie and slander on you, just to try to dox you to the doctors, the very doctors that are there to save your life. It don't get any lower than that. So when I tell you that anybody that is friended with any of these low-life motherfuckers, you are that low-life motherfucker. And I don't want to fucking know you. If you burned up in a car, I'll fucking go buy a 12-pack of beer and have a party, baby. But I goddamn sure don't give a fuck about you. And I don't think anybody would. See? So this is what I'm talking about when it comes to Kermit and Friends. And let me tell you, some very well-known people have called me over the past 24 hours, and I have learned so much. Actually, within the past 3 days, too. I've learned so much about Tony 2.0, fun stuff only is what he goes by now, and Leaf. In particular, that it is going to be coming out. Not to mention Elisa Jordana herself. So what you have here is what's quite natural. If you're a rapist, you probably want to hang out with other rapists or pedophiles, right? It makes sense. We've actually seen that with BAM in California. That group was doomed to begin with. But when you are the lowest of low-life scumbags, those are the only people you're going to be hanging around because nobody else wants to be associated with you. And I am saying right now, that is Kermit and Friends. But see, people go over there with this big delusion that Elisa Jordana is famous or that she's popular. She's not popular or famous in a good way. And that's what you people don't get. Most every producer out there does not like her unless they are filthy pieces of trash themselves. And I'm fixing to expose one of those such people. Right down to the core, baby. And I don't give a fuck what anybody says. People need to be aware of bad people. And right now, I'm telling you, you got no further to look than Kermit and Friends. And then she was engaged, or boyfriend and girlfriend. She was a Benji Brock's girlfriend for a lot of years. Oh, please, come on. Benji Bronk is gay. He's as bad as Andy Dick. He can't even get a hard on looking at a woman. In fact, it makes his dick go limp thinking about having to have sex with a woman. Why do you think he's Howard Stern's #1 man? Because if he is married to anybody, he's married to Howard Stern. That is why Howard Stern tries his best to look like a bitch, to look like a woman. Like, you got to be blind as fuck and ignorant as fuck not to look at Howard Stern and say, that man is not trying to look like a woman. With all that plastic surgery that he's had. His lips, he's had his lips done. He had his nose done. Remember his nose used to hang out down there like that? Just like that. He had that fucking shit cut back, but now it looks like a female nose. His lips look like a female pair of lips. And he is such a wimpy ass looking little bitch for his age at this point in time, right? He wears wigs. That hair on his head is a fucking wig. He's a bald-headed guy. Don't you think he puts on female wigs when he goes to have sex? Of course he does. Him being married to females and having sex with them don't mean nothing. Remember? My oldest brother. In fact, all three of my brothers, for that matter, were like that. Well, my second oldest brother, he used it to his advantage because, let's face it, he had a 12-inch Sri Lanka. So he made it through life using women because of his large Sri Lanka. They would wait on him, give him everything, hand and foot, baby. Let me tell you, I know. And my third oldest brother, well, he just uses it to his advantage. But he fell in love with a woman. So it can work various ways, but I've seen it all. And I've seen it all not only within my own family, but in the particular school that I went to. schools with an S, actually. So don't tell me what I know about people who are gay and people who try to hide the fact that they're gay. Benji Bronk is 100% gay. And why do you think that they tried to pass him off as a female? I had a guy tell me that he saw these people going into a restaurant one day, and he turned around and left because he felt a little intimidated by Elisa Jordana, who at the time still didn't have any boobs. And you could tell that it was a guy. And he could tell that Howard Stern was a flaming faggot. And then he's seen this Benji Bronk and another guy. Well, he's outnumbered like this. And he's like, I'm not going to go in this restaurant and not start some shit with these people because I could whoop any one of these people in a heartbeat, but I'm outnumbered. He said, fuck it. He turned around and left the restaurant. So there's a lot of shit coming out about everything surrounding Elisa Jordana. When did she have her boob job? Who paid for it? Well, Howard Stern did. Who paid for his dick to be inverted? Well, Howard Stern did. And Howard Stern himself has only got a 4-inch peck or something. I wouldn't be surprised if he hadn't had his fucking shit inverted. Except for he's a little bit too scared to go that far because he still enjoys sex and he wants to continue to enjoy sex. Why do you think Elisa Jordana claims that she doesn't even get anything out of sex? The only time that is possible is when a woman has had her vagina blowed the fuck out. So it's like taking a miniature piece of dice and throwing it down a big fucking hallway, like say at a museum. You know how big those goddamn hallways are? You could drive a goddamn 18-wheeler truck through them fucking hallways, literally. And in some cases, they do. They actually open up, they're designed that way, so they open up the fucking wall, opens up like a fucking warehouse. And then they back that motherfucker back down in there, and then they unload whatever it is they got to unload for the museum, and then the 18-wheeler pulls out. That's literally like taking a miniature dice and rolling it down that hallway and think you're going to please that motherfucker. You're not going to please it. You're not. Not ever. It would be like this. It would be like you doing this to a piece of pussy. You're fishing around in there and you're looking for that G spot and you're never going to fucking hit it. It's like this compared to this, really tight. Big fucking difference. So when a woman is that fucking blown out, she can never enjoy sex again. And in a lot of cases, their vaginas become damaged and they simply can't feel anything down there. And there's various things that cause that. I do understand that. But in Elisa Jordana's case, it's because she had her dick inverted. And when men who have their dick inverted can never again enjoy sex. Like they can never, ever play with it and get a nut. That'll never happen because those kind of people cannot enjoy sex. That is why Elisa Jordana does not enjoy sex. It has nothing to do with anything else. Let's bring that up too. Claims that she hasn't had sex in 4 years. Well, that's funny because her last lawsuit, less than 2 years ago, included talk about sex. And it was a guy that used to live in her building who's a well-known actor. I've mentioned his name several times, but that doesn't matter. What matters is in the court proceedings, he referred to her to the judge as I forgot the terminology he used. It was like a night bat or a nightcap, or he referred to her as, and he was very clear on this, as like a piece of side pussy. Like if for some reason he didn't have any women at his place, he could always go to her and get a piece of ass. Like, for example, if he had 2 women over at his place and they both happened to be in that time of the month and he wanted to rumble, he could just go to her and get a piece of ass. But she wanted to be more than just a fucking piece of ass. So she started causing a lot of fucking problems, and he dumped her, and she got mad, and she intentionally put her dog too close to his, and his dog attacked her dog, and then she tried to sue the guy, and so on and so on. And we know the fucking story from there, right? He acted like a bitch, like a kind of bitch you never want to meet in your fucking lifetime, right? So we know that she's had sex within this past 4 years, but she claims it's been 4 years. Shut the fuck up. Another fucking lie from Elisa Jordana. And of course, if Benji did get tagged at, well, it's no problem for him because he's fucking gay. It's probably really odd for him. But remember when they sung that song, We Know What Love Is? Look at Benji Bronk. Look at his face. Look at his fucking face and his eyes. He was scared of Elisa Jordana. It's like he was being forced into doing something. It's like he was chained up. And somebody had these little tiny nippers that could cut your skin off, right? Little pieces at a time. And they're threatening to eat up his dick all the way down like this. And they're telling him, motherfucker, lick this man's butthole. And you better lick it clean. And they just got through taking a shit. Let me tell you something about Benji Bronk. He had that look of fear in his face when he was making that song with her. We Know What Love Is. He was not enjoying his time there making that video. But she loves to throw that video up as, oh, yeah, it's a great song and this and that. No, we had such a great time doing it. No, that's a lie. You could tell by looking at his face. Nobody on the planet would have that look on their face if they were enjoying themselves. It would be like me going to some 15-year-old kids and saying, here's 2 tickets to Six Flags or whatever amusement park there is in their state. The best one. Hey, oh, and here's $10,000 to go blow there. Only I hand it to their parents, right? But I give them 8 tickets instead of 2 because, you know, the parents want to go. Probably the whole family want to go. They probably want to bring their best friends with them. That would be, yeah. And when they went to the park, they're going to have a smile on their face, ear to ear, and they're going to be jumping up when they go to the ticket booth, right? Benji did not have that look on his face. Not even nothing like it. It wasn't even just a normal look like, okay, I'm here. It was the look of fear. And I'll tell you something else. Benji Bronk is so gay. He'll never have a child. And if he does, he's paying that woman to do it. He has girlfriends for the appearance sake of it. See, this was a big thing back in the 80s for gay men to do. If they were running for political office, like Beto O'Rourke, he gets a $3 bill. But he keeps a wife around him because it makes him look normal. And it's a common thing. You still see it today. It's very prevalent today. And you see a lot of tactics that these in-the-closet gay men do. Even though they're famous and everybody knows they're fucking gay as a $3 bill. Let's face it, Benji Bronk is gay as it gets. And so is Howard Stern. That's 100% across the board, that statement I just made. And there's a lot of people that do know this firsthand. And it's starting to come out a little bit more these days. The same thing goes for everybody that's the closest to Elisa Jordana. This is why when I first met Elisa Jordana, she said, Bob, it's not even possible that Rob DeHaven bring me down because I've got over 20 years experience. What she did not know that Rob DeHaven is gay. He's very bisexual. She did not know the level that she was dealing with. And she got in way over her head. And because of that mistake alone, Elisa Jordana's days, even being online running a show, are numbered. I can pretty much guarantee you that. I mean, she can continue doing her show for the rest of her life, but nobody's going to like her. Nobody's going to watch it. And the more that comes out about her negative, the more people that are going to, she's going to be famous. She's just going to be internet famous in a way she never wanted to be. That is where trash talking gets you. If you think you're going to get a cheap high trash talking somebody and degrading people and downing people for anything online, let me tell you how that works. Everybody views you as a piece of shit. So famous? Yeah, you can be famous as one of the people that nobody likes. You're going to have more people not liking you than liking you. And nobody even cares about you. So you're not really going to be famous. You're going to be the opposite of famous. You'd be like Jeffrey Dahmer. Everybody knows Jeffrey Dahmer. Well, they know the name. They know what he did. But nobody likes anybody like that. Nobody wants to move that guy in with you into your house. Elisa Jordama would. And she has done that exact similar level of thing, friending and buddying up with Team Hate and Rob DeHaven. And that was her downfall. And it's going to be her downfall. I guarantee it. And not to mention, he's going homeless anyway. He's not going to be a truck driver. He can't keep a job. He's never going to hook up with IP2. They're going to run him out. They're going to run him off because he'll fuck them around too, like he's doing now with all them fake accounts. I told them this already ahead of time, so they saw it coming. And I'm pointing out every time that he's live streaming, that he's in there with a fake account. Last night, I posted his name up and I said something about Rob DeHaven, this or that, and he answered as Rob DeHaven. So that's absolute proof. And I caught him just a few nights ago in Kermit and Friends when I was still in there. And you people saw this. So he is absolutely not going to make it in IP2, in an RV, which tells you he's going to, one way or the other, end up homeless. And that starts next month. And even if he gets enough money to pay rent for another entire month, it's a waste. Throw it in the trash because it's only going to last another month. So I'm officially kicking off the party on the 30th. If any good people want to come here to this house, hang out with me on the 30th. All of the beer is on me. And I'm going to buy a nice bottle of vodka. And we're going to have mixed drinks until that runs out. After that, you're going to have to produce, your own vodka and whatnot for those to be made. And because I'm not rich. And I just rent a room in a mansion, okay? It's a big house. Just think of it as a big house. It's just a house. I just rent a big, large room. That's it. But it's nice. It really is a nice location. Great people here. So no troublemakers are going to want to show up here. I'll put it to you that way. But if you're a good person and you can behave yourself with no problem, and you can handle, drinking, and if you want to get stoned, bring your own weed, and but don't bring anything hard like cocaine and up because you will be kicked off of the property. But you are invited to that party, and that party is celebrating Rob DeHaven going homeless because he is absolute the worst, most vile person on the internet, period. So him going homeless is cause for a celebration, and I am having that celebration on the 30th right here. We're not going to be live streaming, but if you want to live stream, that's up to you. And you may be asked not to live stream in certain parts of the house. People that are not involved in that live here, they don't want you to, be doing that. So, but in the area we're going to be partying in, oh yeah, you can absolutely key up. And I'm also going to be barbecuing. I don't know what kind of meat yet. I don't know what kind of meats. Probably different kinds. But there's going to be a variety of meats on the barbecue. If you want to buy more meat and bring it, that's fine. I encourage you to do that. But we are going to have a party on the 30th. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Because I am that happy about him going homeless. So there's a Rob DeHaven going homeless party here on the 30th, and nobody even gives a fuck to help this piece of shit out. Because whoever helps him out is going to be the worst nightmare of their lives, because they're probably going to lose their job, whatever it is. That is what a lowlife this guy is. The only reason I never actually went after his wife's job is because I knew she was a nice person. And I knew that we could get to her in other ways. I knew it. It finally came to fruition. She finally saw the truth about this low-life piece of turd, and the fact that he's just using her and mooching off of her, and she could do better than him in a heartbeat. She's a nice-looking woman, and she could, boom. And so that's what she's doing. She's getting rid of him and get somebody with a decent-sized fucking dick for one, instead of a little 3-inch pecker. And she's getting a guy that's got a job and a guy that's going to be there with her instead of just using her. See, so that's what the party's all about. It's kind of like a user going homeless. Nobody cares. Everybody's happy. They're happy. They're happy because he's out of there, but they're happy for her because she is no longer having to support a low-life piece of trash like him. You see. That's the reality of it. But this is a fine Sunday morning. A lot of you going to church. That's great. I don't go to church. I love God. I'm at one with God, but I'm a normal person. I'm not a fanatic in any way. So I know the Word of God better than 90% of the people who go to church. So why do I need to go to church? I don't need to go to church to be saved. I'm already saved. And yeah, if I were to win the lottery, I would support the church, but to a proportionate percentage. I think I would support the church more by helping out people rather than giving to some bullshit organization. Because I would never do that, ever. Gave through. It's like Charmin. Charmin uses a fake name. Everything about her is fake. She's never going to be president. And just like that guy you saw in the news, you see this all the time, who misuses funds. See, if you are donated funds to run for office, if you lose, once it's done, or if you win, you're supposed to send that money back. Period. I think you can donate I don't think you can donate a certain percentage to other people running for office out of that money. Once the election is over for you. But that's far and few between you ever see that even possible. And Uh, but this guy's guilty of committing fraud because he took that money and used it and put it in his personal bank account. And Charmin Smith, who's really Charmin Turner, Charmin Lynn Turner, not Charmin Lynn Smith. That's not her fucking name. And she decided not to run for office because she can't win. No, she decided not to run for office because she is under federal investigation for fraud. She did that exact same thing. This guy's being convicted of it, and she is going to be convicted of it too. That's why she's not running. Isn't that interesting? Democrats just keep shooting themselves in the head every time you turn around. It's funny. It's very interesting though. And Elisa was, even knowing that about her, I told her this shit. And even knowing that about her, she still embraced her and said, "Oh, this is Char. I love Charmin so much." Oh, and Charmin ran for president of the United States. Did you know that? Just bragging about this shit. Like she even knows this person. She comes on her show. But Charmin is just another low life piece of shit as far as I'm concerned. And everything else about her life is totally negative. How hard is it for a female to lose custody of her children when she gets $4,500 or anywhere near or around that amount per month in alimony? I'm telling you, it is not fucking possible. Well, it is possible. It's just good fucking luck trying to get those kids. I know women that have popped up negative on a piss test 3 times and they still got custody of their kids. That's how hard it is to get a woman to lose custody of her children. And yet, I've seen a woman haul off and beat the shit out of another woman in a restaurant, get arrested for it and prosecuted, and still get out of jail and not lose custody of her children. How is that even fucking possible? Well, it happens every fucking day. And but Charmin Smith lost custody of her children, and her kids don't even like her. Her son does not even want to go see her, but he does because it's court order, it's shared custody kind of thing. She has visitation rights, so to speak, with her kids, but it's not parental thing. So he don't have to be there watching like at the park where she spends time with the kids. This is one of those things where they actually go spend the weekend with her kind of thing, like once per month or whatever. I don't know how many times per month or how it's set up. I didn't go read into it to that degree because I really don't care. It's really none of my business. And but what I do know is that she absolutely lost custody of her own children. There is no chance of a person like that ever winning an election at a federal level like that. That is why she quit running for office. She dropped out. And I don't know why Elisa Jordana is still associating with her, bringing her into their live streams and propping her up on a pedestal and then bragging about knowing her. I do not understand that. That is the opposite of what anybody with a brain would do. But this is Elisa Jordana. I tried to tell her to dump that box of rocks a year ago and she would not listen. In fact, a year and a half ago, she would not listen. 6 months ago, she would not listen. I've been telling her for the past 3 months, she would not listen. And she's too dumb to get good advice and watch my live stream. So what more can you do? There's nothing more. You cannot help out stupid people like that. You just cannot do it. It's never going to work. I give it my last ditch effort here this past week. I might as well have been throwing that little micro dice down that fucking hallway at the museum. There's no fucking chance. You get it? So, yeah, of course I love Kermit friends. I'm never going back. I don't want anything to do with them pieces of shit trash bag people, except for they're associated with other people. So why do I continue to talk about her? Well, as long as these people are associated with her, I'm going to continue to talk about her and them, each and every last single one of them. And as one of them falls by the wayside, all that does is make room for me to go after the next person. And then the next, and then the next, and then the next. And that's exactly how this is going to work. That's exactly how this is going to go down. They will never, ever make any agreements with me of any fucking kind. Nobody pays me, nobody ever has, and nobody controls me. And that's a fact. That is a motherfucking fact. It's undeniable. And these little light pieces of trash, they got zero chance of calling a ceasefire with me. They only do that when they're on the defensive, or when they think, oh, I'm snug here, I'm comfy. Oh yeah, I done beat you. You can't even touch me. Okay, keep thinking that way because I'm going after you. I went after Rob DeHaven. Look at him. He's homeless now. And I am taking credit for that. You goddamn fucking straight. Fuck him. And I'll say it from now on. He will never have another fucking job the rest of his fucking life. And he will never, ever live with a single motherfucker that has a job. I promise you that. I promise you that. And if he does, he's not going to be there long. He's not going to make it in an RV. He's not going to make it driving a truck. Therefore, he's going to go homeless. He'll work these, maybe until he's too old to do it, but he'll go work these, what you call part-time jobs, like where, seasonal jobs. That's his thing. He likes to do seasonal jobs, but he can't do that kind of work at his age now. He's way too old, way too fucking fat. So he's just going to be a bum walking around town, stealing from everybody that he can. He might run a live stream as a bum. He might as well name it Rob DeHaven, the homeless bum. Or how about Rob DeHaven, the worthless piece of shit? He might do that. It would be an accurate title. Either one of those titles would be very accurate for his live stream. And he might get actually a few people watching that. Let's face it, there are stupid people that watch IP2. There are stupid people that watch Kermit and Friends. And let me tell you, the way Kermit and Friends is gone, I don't even give a fuck to watch it today. But I am going to watch it because I heard certain guests were coming onto the live stream or onto the show today. But I am not going into the fucking live stream. I'm not even going to be on a fucking panel. I blocked that bitch. She cannot even send me a fucking invite. But no, I'm not going to watch it while it's live streaming. I'll take that back. I'm going to watch it after the live stream. That's how much I don't give a fuck about Kermit and Friends or Elisa Jordana or Wits In. And him taking over the show, in my opinion, totally 100% took that show down to the fucking depths of the earth. It's just so bad. Oh, God, it's like torture even watching this stupid show. It truly is. It really is. So I'm going to reach out to her mom and her sister and her family right now. And I'm going to tell them, I feel in my heart exactly what you are feeling right now. The only difference is I don't know. I no longer want anything to do with that filthy bitch. And I don't think you should either. And she is not the best thing to come out of that family. By far, she is the worst fucking thing to come out of that family. And I'll bet that family regrets the day they adopted his fucking ass. It's no wonder her own brother won't talk to her anymore. And I want to reach out to her brother to give me a call and to contact with, get in contact with me. I would be so ecstatic if he did that. I'm sure he's got things to hide in his past, and I don't really care, but I would love just to privately talk with this guy. Just privately. It would be glorious. Because I'm sure he's gay. Nobody gives a fuck. That's the thing. Nobody cares. We don't care if him and her, back when she was a he, we don't care if them two had little butt buddy sex when they were growing up. That doesn't mean he's that kind of person now, and even if he is, I don't even care. He should get in contact with me of all people on the freaking internet. Way before high-pitched, stupid-ass Eric. Who the fuck wants to listen to that? That's just so annoying to the ear. Not to mention he's a passive-aggressive little bastard, just like Tony 2.0 or Fun Stuff Only, and just like Leaf. And those people are self-centered. They're so greedy. See, Leaf goes after people. He went after people to keep his position. But when every time Elisa reached out to Rob DeHaven, he started going after Rob DeHaven. They all started going after Rob DeHaven. But you should have already known. If Elisa catches scent that you don't like that person, she's going to hug that person just to piss you the fuck off. She does it every fucking time with everybody she's ever known. She loves torturing her family because her family apparently still loves her. And as long as they love her, she's going to continue to run around with people that they don't like. It's guaranteed. It's 100%. There's something thrown off with this stupid fucking bitch. It's just something thrown the fuck off with this bitch, right? That's guaranteed when she got her fucking dick inverted. Guaranteed at that point there's something thrown off with her. But for anybody to act like that is definitely thrown the fuck off. And I'll tell you, as soon as she finds something that really pisses off Rob DeHaven, when she's ready, she ain't got nobody else to do it to, she's going to do it to Rob DeHaven. She may even come back to me begging for an apology and, oh, just promise me the fucking world if I'll go over there and be a producer. And my answer is flat out going to be no. No, you fucked up by getting with Rob DeHaven. So you sleep in that fucking bed that you made, you stupid bitch. And I don't know of anybody else that could piss off Rob DeHaven becoming the producer over him. Of course, he'll fight him along the way, and he'll sit back like, yeah, it's nothing, I don't care. But at the end of the day, if he weren't homeless, but he is going to be homeless anyway, so he's not going to be lasting that long anyway. She is absolutely that kind of person. And the only reason Leaf is not there anymore is because of Rob DeHaven. The only reason Tony 2.0 became the writer for her bullshit newsletter that Leaf started up is because he writes better than Leaf, but also because he only went after Rob DeHaven for small little spurts. But on the other hand, he would help Rob DeHaven and go after me or anybody else that Rob is going after. This guy goes after everybody by simply agreeing with the opposition. It's called passive aggression. I wouldn't want it said that. I just said that he said that, and I'm just asking you about it. I mean, right? But he's the one, he knows he carries a voice over there. So when he says something, people pay attention to it. And most people won't even fight that. I did, and I will. And I come out victorious. So fuck them motherfuckers over there. They're only out for themselves, is what I'm telling you. You know, riding that coattail, climbing the ladder to success, but there's no success to be had over there. You're not going to get rich with this. You're not going to make any money doing that. There's nothing. You're climbing a ladder to nowhere. That's the most amazing thing about it, is that Elisa has all of these people fooled that they're climbing a ladder to success somehow, when Elisa technically is only well known in a negative way and not a positive way. You're never going to get anything out of vying for a position over there at Kermit Friends because there's nothing that exists over there worth having. And this is how dumb Fun Stuff Only is. And this is how dumb Leaf is. And this is how dumb Rob DeHaven and all of Team Hate are. I quit inviting people to that show at least 6 months ago, I think 8 months ago. And I will never, ever, I would never invite one of you people over there to that show. I might as well shoot my fucking self before I do that. And I would never do that. These fucking people are stupid. There's a whole bunch of them together, though. From Danny from LA to fucking Wits End to fucking Elisa Jordana. Man, if I was her brother, I wouldn't even take this to Howard Stern because Howard Stern is going to take it for Elisa Jordana because he's gay, she's gay, and they're all fucking gay. And they're gay in such a way they have each other's backs because they have so many secrets that they have to keep together. Like Howard Stern never wants it known that he's the one that paid for Elisa Jordana's sex change, boob job, and the dick inversion. He doesn't want anybody to know this, but he's talked about it on his fucking live stream in the past. I heard it. I don't know which one it is, but I do remember him talking about, and I didn't know who he was talking about, somebody having a sex change, because I really at the time thought that she was a female back then. And I really thought that he must have been talking about one of the workers around the show, but he was talking about a worker, but I never heard the name. And so I did not know that it was Elisa Jordana. And who would have thought that Elisa was a guy back then? Like nobody. Bitch, even after she got a sex change, went and did Playboy magazine. So everybody thought, well, goddamn, that's a woman. Look just like a fucking woman, doesn't he? But if you notice, there was never, ever a picture of his pussy. Because you see, when a man has his dick inverted to look like a pussy, it's not in the right spot. Here's the butthole, here's the pussy. Real talk. When a man has his dick inverted, the pussy hole is not there, it's actually up here. So there's a big separation between the two. And if she would have taken a pussy shot back then, it would have already been out that she was born a man and had a dick inverted, surgery done. That's a fact. Isn't that interesting? How all of these facts just keep coming out one right after another. Yeah, it's great, isn't it? I fucking love it. So, yeah, and all of the men that she's been known to have sex with so far are gay, just like Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel's gay, in case you people don't know that. Yeah, he's married, he's got kids, he has a great marriage, and I'm sure he's bisexual as hell, has great sex with her, but at the end of the day, Vin Diesel is gay as any fucking gay man on a fucking planet. I challenge Vin Diesel to a Trumpster by butthole challenge. The only reason he won't do it is because his butthole is about that fucking big around. That's why. It's not one finger tight like mine. It's that fucking big around. He can't fucking do it. Or not like the other dude that posted a picture of his butthole. Like, you could fit about 3 of them in that motherfucker, no problem, right? So there's a big difference in the size of the butthole from a virgin guy who's 50 years old versus a guy that hasn't been gay his whole life that's 50 years old. Vin Diesel is gay. Every man that I know of that she's had sex with is gay. Gonzo is gay. You name another person that she's had sex with, he's gay. Cappy is gay. Andy Dick is gay. He grew up with he goes by Kleenex, Chris Dick. His family adopted Andy Dick. That's not even Andy Dick's real last name. His real last name is Johnson, but it doesn't matter because he was brought up Andy Dick. They were raised together. Kleenex is gay. No matter what the fuck he says. There's way too much out there about him growing up gay as fuck. Sucking 5 Boy Scouts' dicks and all of that. Those weren't just made up stories. They made up those stories so he could later come and say and claim, well, I'm not gay. Those were all just made up stories. I make up shit all the time. Just like I always make up different evil characters to plot against her. She knows that. I love her to death. Blah, 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 blah. That ain't even possible. He knows that she was born a fucking man. He supports her in every way because he is gay. Just like Benji Bronk, just like Howard Stern, just like Vin Diesel, just like Gonzo and every other man who's ever had sex with her. And for any man who had sex with her that did not know, they could sue the living fucking dog shit out of her upon finding out. They could literally just go down and file right now. And then in discovery, that would be Elisa Jordana's chance to prove that she was born a female. Because if she can't do that, then it's going to court. And she's going to lose that fucking lawsuit. I hope one guy does end up suing her over that. I would. If she'd done that to me, I'd fucking sue her ass in a flat out heartbeat. For not telling me that she was born a man. Of course, that will never happen to me because I'm going to look at the pussy and I'm going to see that there's a difference in where the hole's at. And I'm going to, oh, no. I'm going to get dressed and fucking leave. Then I might sue her for trying to have sex with me like that. See? I would have to be drunk as fuck. And I'll bet you there are plenty of men out there who have had sex with her who should sue her fucking ass. That she is not told that she was born a man. Because by law, she has to do that or she could be fucking sued. And in the state of Texas, she could be thrown in prison. So if there's anybody in Texas that she's ever done this to, you should right now be thinking about going down there and filing a lawsuit against her. The only reason some people won't do it is if they don't need the money and if they don't want nobody to know. See, me, I wouldn't give a fuck. I'd sue that bitch in a heartbeat. Because then I'd be like, well, yeah, it's true. That did happen. Duh. So, I mean, what do you expect to take place at that point? See? So that's why I've been talking about that topic quite a bit, lately. And I was in Kermit and Friends. I didn't even know for a long time that she was born a man. But even born a man, if she was a good person, I still wanted to support him in his show because his show has so much potential. But she lied to me across the fucking board. This bitch lied to me. And I can prove that too. In a heartbeat, I can prove it. So there's no reason for me to have any association with these people or to give them any allegiance. I don't owe them a damn thing because everything they did concerning me was for the sake of trolling me. That is it. To create content. And they got their way more than their just share of content over there off of me. They're never getting any more. They can fuck off. I don't care who she brings onto her show. I'm not going on her show. Period. I don't care who it is because I don't need it. Because I got my own live stream. May not be 300 people watching me first thing in the morning, but nobody ever really watches me first thing in the morning on Sunday anyway, so it doesn't bother me. And why? Because most people are actually in church. That's why. Yeah. Anyway, folks, I'll tell you what. I just woke up really. I'm going to go over here and make me some breakfast, and I will talk to you later. And if you're curious about my new object up there, that is my anti-NFL hat. I've had it for a long time. I'm proud of it. People always want to know where they can get one. And I just tell them, you can buy that one right there or order it from me. And a lot of people want to, but I have to highly drive up the price of that hat so nobody will fucking buy it from me. Anyway, God bless and peace out. And I will catch you on the next go around with Trumpster Bob. How about that?